What's up, guys? Weather expert here, bringing you guys a final outlook, pretty much analysis of why I chose what I did. I released the final outlook today. If you guys want to look at it instead of looking at this YouTube video, you can just go to @expertweather on Twitter. That's pretty much the only social media site that I really post stuff like this on here, because I want to get to the general public why I chose this and why I think it's why I think it's going to be pretty darn useful during this winter. So let's start with the overall pattern right now. We have a negative P&A. We have a low pressure over here producing a lot of snow over here. We got a lot of precipitation over here. That's my dog shaking. We have a lot of moisture over here. But why do I think it's going to shut off? Well, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a positive. It's going to pretty much just go away. I think the negative P&A is just going to shut off. We're going to start getting a negative P&A that creates high pressure. And what happens is what really happens is we get a high pressure build over the west, but the subtropical jet down here is most likely going to really, be active throughout the whole entire winter. Now, this is why I extended it up here, because we're going to be pretty active for the early part of winter, I'm pretty sure, over here, but it's going to be a pretty slow start. We're going to have some pretty dry, if you're over here, if you're in this region right here, I'm pretty sure the first half of winter is going to be pretty darn quiet. We might get a snowstorm, but really, I don't expect too much out of the first half winter. But when we get to the second half winter, that's when things start to change. We start seeing this positive P&A develop, negative NAO. That's a perfect combination of negative AO. That is perfect conditions for snow. And the subtropical jet is going to be a key role, because it's going to create a lot of low pressure systems, and that's what you call the Pineapple Express. You're going to have a lot of stuff forming a subtropical jet. It's going to follow that jet stream over here all in the south. But why do I have slightly above average snow over here when it's not even down here? And this is because what's going to happen is we're going to have a lot of upslope events happening over here. We're going to have a lot of upslope events that are going to happen over here. So mainly this part of the region is probably going to have more of a better first half of the winter, but it's probably going to be differentiated. There could be some pretty big storms over here. We get over here, and then we get over here. That's when the storms start moving east. We get some cold air blasts. We get some nice snow. And then we can see some storms that just take a southern track, and that's what they call the southern sliders, I call them. Those are the snow that bring that. Those are the systems. My dog is being really annoying. Midnight. Sorry if I'm yelling at my dog. She's being really annoying during this video. If I let her outside, she'll probably just start barking like crazy. But above average snow, this part, if you live east of Wichita, this really won't come in effect until the second half of winter. I pretty much think that's going to happen. I think that upslope event's going to happen over here. Once you get east, it's going to be a pretty slow start, but then when we get to mid-January, that's when things changes. We start seeing these systems form up the subtropical jet, and we start seeing some systems at the early half of winter that we're going to see soon, I'm pretty sure. I'm seeing some systems doing this too, of southern sliders coming along. We get some cold air over here, and we get some pretty good snowstorms, but mainly I don't think there's going to be a lot of cold air. I think it's going to be pretty warm up here. But as we start flipping the clock to about the second half of winter, of course there's going to be a lot of severe weather. We're going to have a lot of systems. We're going to have some warm air. If there's a warm pocket, we're going to have a pretty good severe weather set up for them. But if you live over here, this is the second half of winter. We're going to have a lot of moisture build up. We're going to have low pressure systems forming in the Gulf from the El Nino moisture. And I could set the stage for some very strong nor'easters, because this Gulf Stream is so active and so strong right now that literally I can't think right now of how strong that thing is. We're gonna have a classic, nor'easter probably. Nor'easters are gonna pretty much happen probably from a good amount. A lot of them are gonna happen most in the second half of the winter, but you can't rule out one, maybe two of them. But the ones that are the snow givers are the ones sometimes, like Juno and Nemo. They just come out of nowhere. It seems like they don't come from here. Some of them just come out of Canada and they just get ejected out here, and that's what happens. We can get some clippers. That's going to be a pretty. It's not going to be too many clippers, but that's why I think it's going to be dry. It's going to be pretty dry over here. But you guys can see right here is where you can get some potent storms if they get out on the coast, which has happened. We can see some pretty strong storms. But as we get over to the northeast, we're going to see, I think, above average snowfall. We're going to see some mixing events. We're going to see some rain events, probably first half of winter, and then the second half will probably be mixing the snow. More snow than mix, I think. We get the average snow. This thing's pretty much a gap between the average and this dry. I just think that some southern sliders and maybe some weird storm tracks might just give them some average snow. But I'm pretty sure that mostly of this region is guaranteed, I think, warm and mild. But we've seen some winters that have been crazy, and they can be absolutely a flip-flop, but right now I'm seeing this in the pattern. Florida's going to be wet from these systems in the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have a lot of moisture. Let's just go dive in right here. Let's go to our graphic. Here's our 7-day change. Here's our 7-day sea surface temperature anomalies. And you guys see what's happening. What's this coin flop? Look at this thing. This is cooling in El Nino regions 1 and 2. You can even see that right here. You can see some downward trend, and this is going to be pretty typical, as I think that this thing is going to continue to weaken slowly. It could maybe go up and down a little bit, but the overall trend is going to become cooler. And what's that mean? It's going to shut off the east-based El Nino. It's going to shut it off. It's not going to make it so that we get a warmer, mild winter like, some winters, like it's just like an east-based El Nino where you get warm and mild temperatures. That's not going to happen. It's going to be more of a east central based or a Modoki. Modokis have been known to produce tons of cold air over here, and I've seen, and you guys be seeing, oh, this thing's pretty cold. Oh no, it's not. You don't get how warm this Gulf Stream is compared to average. But Peruvian current is working good. Me and Northeast Weather Authority are agreeing on the Peruvian current that are just, you can even see it on here. Let's go over here. Not here. Here, you guys see that. What's this? El Nino 3 and 4, 31, 30 degree, 29. I mean, this is still pretty good flourishment for systems. But when you get out into here, you can see a pretty good, like, ridgy type kind of thing. Like, not really ridgy, like just trade winds are just screaming across the desert. And man, these things are just shearing the warm water off. They're shearing the warm. They're churning the water up from the increased winds. And what that causes is going to cause colder water. And guess what? It's starting to enter El Nino regions 1 and 2. And that's why you're seeing this. Is because of the Peruvian current coming around. And I learned a lot from him, and he's a pretty cool guy. And let's look at our real-time data. Now you've been saying, oh, this is a real sea surface temperature anomalies. They aren't going to pick it up until probably for a little while. They won't see the cool anomalies. You won't see a cool anomaly just yet. I'm pretty sure that most of this region is going to be cut off. We're going to get more of a east central base, and we're going to get a colder and snowier type pattern over here in the second half of winter. That's why it's got to take time. We're going to be more of an east. We're going to have more of an east-based El Nino as we get towards the first half winter, but then second half winter, that's east central. The Modoki is a possibility. All right, let's go to this. This is a better graphic, I think. This is one of the best graphics I've seen about this thing. You guys can see right here. Look at this. I mean, you still just don't pay attention to this part because it doesn't really pick it up just yet. It doesn't pick up the 7-day change. But you can see this water is absolutely. I mean, look at this. I'm gonna turn on the grid system. Because this pretty much illustrates you what's happening. Air is coming out. Air is coming out of the El Nino region. It's moist, warm air. Guess what's gonna head? It's not when the jet comes along. The subtropical jet can just pick up this crap and just pull it up in the Gulf of Mexico, create a low pressure system, move it up this, and look at this. I've been showing you guys this. This is why I think nor'easters are going to be very, very potent this year. Not just because of sea surface temperatures, but also the cold air that are going to be amplifying these anomalies. Look at this. This seems like a perfect setup for a nor'easter winter. Look at this. This stuff is absolutely incredible. And if you go back down here, let's go close up. So let's look at this. We're gonna look at one more graphic after this, but this thing is pretty darn strong. I mean, it's starting. You can see some little red splotches. That's the colder anomalies, and here's a Peruvian current starting to come up. You can't really see it good on here, but right here, 3.4 is gonna be absolutely key. If you want a good winter, you want 3.4 to strengthen, 1.1 and 2 to weaken, and that's gonna create a nice wet and cold winter for the eastern half of the U.S. during the second half of winter. Let's go to the current, because I like current analysis stuff. We're going to go to our awesome friends of Wisconsin, and they got an awesome product called the precipitable water. This is going to be pretty, you can already tell what's happening right now. You've got a pretty strong trough coming down. You got a pretty strong jet over here. You can see that trough right here, digging it. Look at that. You can see the dry air mass, the dry cold air. And you can also see down here, this moisture content is absolutely incredible. And when the jet comes down here, guess what's going to happen? Here's another system right here. It's going to pick up. This is why I think that it's going to be pretty potent. You can see the moist envelope is starting to move north, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to allow this region to open up to moisture, and then the East Coast for the second half of winter. But yeah, guys, that's really gonna wrap it up. The next week's system, it's gonna draw moisture from the Gulf and from Nino regions too. So that's gonna be pretty important for how much moisture and how much how much rain we're gonna get over here. But yeah, guys, that's really gonna wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this winter discussion. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll have more updates soon. But yeah, guys, see you guys next video. Peace out, y'all.